black people. It's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody move.
We are in a state of emergency. Prejudice. Wrote a song about it? Like to hear it? Here it go. Free your mind.
To boldly go where no man has gone before.
So ain't nobody moving me. Like at the king, we make it plain and simple. Bringing knowledge and fire at reality's temple. Reality's temple. My black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody moving me. Like at the king, we make it plain and simple. Bringing knowledge and fire at reality's temple.
Gomane. Assemble the people, Gomane. We will not be defeated by witch doctors' illusions.
Okay. Thank you for donating to my uncle Taalik. I appreciate it, and I know that my family appreciate it because he's been in our lives for years now. So yeah, and I just want to say thank you because yeah, I'm happy. Yeah, and we love you guys. Mwah. Bye. Bye. He's forever and always. He's forever and always. He's forever and always.
I ordered this book, God is on Trial. I ordered this book from Amazon, and I must say I've read it. It's very well written, very thought-provoking.
Hey, my brother, you know I had to call you and thank you personally again. I cannot describe to you how happy I was to meet you in person finally. That was just like amazing.
Anyway, I'm done. So, don't expect me to be on YouTube all the time, and because but none of you are helping me out. I have to go to work every day. I have to go to work, to make money, and none of y'all are dropping me $5 or nothing in my Cash App or nothing. So don't expect me to come on here making videos all the time, because that's not gonna happen. like I said, it takes a lot of energy to come on here and talk and make videos and put together, presentations, and all of that take time and energy. I mean, don't expect me to come on here talking and carrying on.
My black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody.
We are in a state of emergency. Prejudice. Wrote a song about it? Like to hear it? Here it go. Free your mind.
I keep it real.
What, dear?
Cause I keeps it real like that. I keeps it real.
I would like to thank you so much for joining me this morning, afternoon, or evening, and giving me the honor of being able to listen to these few words within this next hour. I'll have a lot to cover within the next 50 minutes, so please bear with me as though it seems as I'm rushing, and really I am. I have a lot to cover. I want to talk about, just briefly, various subjects. So with that said, on this busy, let ye get busy. I want to talk about, and I have the subjects in front of me, what I want to briefly, very short commentary on each of these different subjects, ranging from, we already know that we need black unity, so-called black unity. Those of you who listen to my words, you know I don't like that word black. I like soul. We are the people of soul. Stop being caught up or getting caught up in that race crap. That's what the oppressor done. We don't trip off of skin color. Only racists do. And some of you justify your racism wannabe-ism. But I'm not going to allow myself to get caught up in the game of racism. I am not a racist. I am a victim of racism and racism. So you cannot have black unity unless you develop soul love. Love for your soul sister, soul brother, and our soul children. I want to talk about what real spirituality is. I want to talk about divine and the word temple, because I use that word and people accuse me of being spiritual or religious because I use these words, temple and divine. I want to talk about, and from that they call me a coon and a sambo. The Black Power Awards, want to talk about that. Want to talk about these pro-black comedic teachings. Very, it's just some questions that I would like answered. Maybe you can help me. I want to talk about these ghetto names. There's a lot of us, we feel shame, or we should not use so-called these ghetto names. I want to talk about, although I reject or I don't acknowledge the existence of some God, I still want to be able to speak with you coming from your mindset. I want to talk about letting or allowing God speak through you. Why are the descendants of slaves born in America, why do we behave so childish and infantile? Let's talk about it. So you got these subjects, the topics that I want to just touch on briefly. You got it? If not, rewind, because you don't want to miss anything that I have to say. Let us talk with one another, not at each other. And why don't we just accept truth? Why don't we accept the reality of things? It only makes things more difficult for us. See, my information does not come from some God or some divine person. What I present to us is not a teaching. To teach means to train. I'm not trying to or want to train you to do anything. I offer us advice. I offer us suggestion in order that we can bring these things together and solve once and for all this horrible condition that we find ourselves in. Whereas if we don't do anything about it, the poor children that come behind us, they have to deal with it. Let us be adults. And just like Barney Fife from the Andy Griffith show used to say, let us nip it in the bud and let's stop it with our generation. And don't you know, if we can nip this in the bud within our generational period, we would be the greatest generation that our people, these dark-skinned people, no matter where they are on the earth, we would be the greatest dark-skinned people ever on the planet to come up out of this horrid condition and solve this and take us out from hell into a heavenly-like state. Let us remember, let us not be foolish. Let us not be naive to think that things will be better. Everything will be perfect and all this fantastic. No, no, no. We only want to get rid of this pink cat that has been giving us hell going on 500 years. And we do that first by the development of love. Let me say this very quickly. When I was in my 20s, there was a little girl that I met through a friend of mine. The little girl was his niece. And his little niece, I believe she was 6 or 7 years old. I'm not really sure how old. She was very, very young. And when I first met the little girl, I was on one side of the room, and the little light-skinned little girl, little soul girl, black girl, she was on the other side. And she kept staring at me. Some of you, I have probably told this story once before, but I'm going to tell it again, because I know many of you probably did not hear this. So, the little light-skinned soul child kept staring at me. And everybody in the room started noticing that this little child just kept staring at me. And so somebody said, "Why are you staring at him like that?" And this little child said, "Because he black." Everybody's like, wow, because he's so black. And actually, at that time, I was darker skinned than what you see today. I am more lighter in skin color because I was incarcerated for years, so I was not able to be out in the sun like I normally do. So I was darker skinned person back then. And she said, he black. And the little girl was not finished. She said, he black and he ugly. I was like, why? Everybody started laughing. You know, again, this child is 6 or 7 years old, very young child. Well, there was nothing that I could say. I'm not going to get angry and debate with a child. And so my response to the child was, well, I'm very sad to hear that. I wish I could be pretty like you. All my life, people have called me black and ugly. But if I was like you, so beautiful and light-skinned, maybe my life would have been much, much better. You know. And so she looked at me when I said that. And I don't know what was going on in her mind. But she started on one side of the room. And as time marches forward, you can see her going from sitting in everybody's lap. She's moving from this side to the room, then she ended up on my side of the room. And guess what? She ended up in my lap. Wow. And so I'm looking at this little child who just called me black and ugly. I'm looking at this little child sitting in my lap. And so I grabbed the little child to get her off my lap. And she grabbed me. She refused to be moved. And I told the little girl, I'm black. Not only am I black, but remember you said I'm ugly. Of course you would not want to sit in the lap of a black and ugly person, would you? So you need to go. So I attempted to get her off my lap, and she held on to me for dear life. And she said, no, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. And from that time on, I struck up this friendship with this child. And not having children of my own, and she, at the time, her and her biological father was estranged, I sort of adopted her as my little girl. And what I'm going to do, sorry, I'm thinking faster than I can talk. But to make my point is that it was one Christmas or something like that, some holiday, and one of her relatives came to her and told her, Taalik likes you. Taalik will buy you anything you want for Christmas. Go to Taalik and ask him for this. Go to Taalik and ask him for that. He'll give you whatever you want. And now listen, this is my point. This is how the little girl responded. She basically told them, I could care less about things. I just want Taalik to be with me on Christmas or whatever holiday that was. I don't need nothing. Oh, wow. Ooh, wow. Tears, when I heard that, because I heard the conversation and I actually shed tears. This is coming from a baby, a little child. She was not interested in things. She was interested in me, the black and the ugly. Because she fell in love with the black and the ugly. And when you love, you don't care whether that person is fat whether that person is black or ugly, or poor, or uneducated, educated, man or woman, homosexual, when you fall in love, all those things don't mean nothing. And these who are the descendants of slaves, born in America, having dark skin, we have yet come to the point to be on the level of this child who does not care whether I drive a Mercedes-Benz 2016 or a 1974 Pinto. She does not care. She cares about me. And when I show my face and show concern for the people of soul, I'm not looking for your money. I don't care about what you have. I care about you. Whether you're fat, whether you're Muslim, whether you're Christian or a drunk, a dope fiend, a prostitute, whatever you are in life. I love you because loving you means that I must love myself. I don't care about those things. So the reason why there is no soul unity or black unity, as you want to call it, because there is no real love, the love that this little girl was showing towards me. You must develop love and mean it. Everybody that you love is not going to please you. They're not going to say and do things that you like. You love your mother, your father, and brothers and sisters, but I'm very sure you love them, but you don't like everything they say or do. Because love overrides all that. The things that we can learn from a child. What is real spirituality? There was something spiritual going on between me and this child. There is only one real so-called spirituality if you want to use the word. It would be better for us to become mentally connected to this one. And stop using this word spirituality, because you as a physical, you being a physical flesh, there is no way that you could be spiritual. Spirituality is only real within the confines or the realm of the dead. And we have not gone or passed to that level of existence yet. Nor can, so thus we cannot communicate in that genre or realm. It's impossible. You are flesh and physically, you cannot do it. The only real spirituality that you can express, spirit, another word for spirit is liquor. That, I'm very sure most of y'all are very spiritual. You got your wine and your beer and vodka. I don't know all these different liquors that y'all like to drink. The whiskey, because I don't drink, never been enticed or excited about it. Liquor is called spirit. That's the only real spirituality that you know. Spirituality, real spirituality, is only your connection to life. That's all that it is. We have team spirit. I like the Bulls and Michael Jordan. You like the Bulls and Michael Jordan. We go to a Bulls versus the Cleveland Cavaliers game, and we have team spirit. We have the same mentality. I'm connected to you mentally. You're connected to me mentally. We have the same spirit. We want our team to win. We have team spirit. That's the only spirituality that's real. Your connection to life. You can also have a connection. Some of us, we refuse to eat meat because we have a spiritual connection to a rabbit or to a cow or to a chicken. We have a connection to that life. So I don't feel good consuming it as food. So I will leave that alone and I will connect to my last choice, and that would be plants. I'll become a vegetarian. I have a connection to this planet. I have a problem with the poisoning of the water, the poisoning of the land, the poisoning of the air. I am spiritual. I have a connection because this planet is what makes me alive. It what keeps me alive. The Native American people were said to
things that make you go, you know, these aren't jokes, these are thoughts, these are things that make you say,
believe that even the rock is alive, being part of the planet. The planet itself is alive, but even the rocks that does not have flesh and blood, rocks and gravel, mountains, they don't breathe. But the Native American people consider rocks and all these other things alive. And if you look at your body, since we do come from this earth, your fingernails are not alive. Your fingernails are dead cells connected to the living. It is part of life. So although the rock is not alive, it is connected to life. This is the only spirituality that's real. All this other fantasy stuff, and see, it's easily described, and it's easily, anybody can experience being spiritual, having a spiritual connection to another life. But when you talk about I'm spiritually connected to God and to the aliens on Mars and all this other stuff that y'all come up with, it's very difficult for you to explain, because it's difficult to explain what is not real. It's difficult to explain the unexplainable, because that don't exist in our reality, what you're talking about. It only exists in Superman, Batman comic books. So, I am the divine masculine. This is the reality's temple on earth. If you're not spiritual, if you're not religious, why do you use these words divine and temple? So when you go to a restaurant and you get a pretty good meal and you say that meal was divine, does that mean you're spiritual or religious? There are many different definitions for the word divine. It can be used in different ways. I use the word because a group of black women who found some kind of love for me gave me the title divine masculine, which simply means a man, a male, who uplifts the female. No more, no less. That's the simple definition. And I accepted that title, divine masculine. The reality's temple. You're not religious and spiritual. You use a temple. What is this here? Your temple, which is part of your on your head, is part of the brain, or connected to the brain, where the brain is located. They shoot you in the temple, chances are they're going to shot out your brain. Is that spiritual and religious? No, it has different definitions. Y'all need to stop that stuff. I'll make it clear. And then another thing. Who gave religious people the the copyrights, or the patent. You act like you own words. You do not own the word temple. You do not own the words spirituality. You do not own the words divine. You use it in the manner, the fictional fantasy type manner that you do and have for the last 4,000 years or whatever. And I will use it in the manner that I have decided to use it. But it is very clear that on this rostrum, I do not acknowledge spirits. I do not acknowledge God. So you are a disbeliever. No, I cannot disbelieve or believe because I've never met this God that you're talking about. I never met him, her, or it. I had no interaction with it. How can I talk about God when I've never seen this God, had no connection or interaction? So how I can neither believe or disbelieve. So that's not even an issue here. So from there we go to Negro, you a coon. You a Sambo. You a sellout. You an agent. What is so sad? You have all these people who are supposed to be so have the supreme wisdom, higher knowledge. They are connected to the Most High. But yet and still, they repeat the words that was forced on us by racists. Coon is a word that did not come from no dark-skinned people. It's a word that comes from racists. Just like Sambo and a lot of this Mother Elf and all this other stuff that come out of our mouths. We learned it from the slave master and his children. Then we call ourselves that. Just like women have been abused by men for who knows how long. So now you have women who happily call themselves bitches and whores. I'm a bad bitch. Yeah, girl, you know I'm a bad hoe. I'm a divine hoe. This is what happens when people are victimized. They take in and embrace the abuse of the oppressor. But here you are so silly and dumb. You have all this knowledge and you can't even create a word to degrade me of your own. You have to continue to use the words of the degrader, the oppressor, the hater, the racist Caucasian pink American people. That's very sad. And that's all that I was saying when I said we need to stop calling Tommy Sotomayor a coon. Just do the work. Stop being so childish. Who cares about what Tommy Sotomayor talks about? Do the work. The problem is you're not involved in the work. You have all this time. Let me talk about Tommy Sotomayor. Who cares about that dude? He's a dark European. He does not claim to be conscious. He's lost in space. Who cares? However, if you get involved in the work, doing the work, and be successful in that work, everything that he talks about and everything he stands for will soon begin to fall and crumble. Because your actions make him out a lie. But the reason why he stands so strong is because y'all fake. You're lazy and you're not real. Unlike the little girl that I was talking about in the beginning of the video, you really don't love black folks. You really don't love the people of soul. Many of you have another agenda. You want to get rich off soul people. You want to be a YouTube celebrity or some other nonsense. And the masses know who is real and the masses know who is fake. So you're only going to get a certain amount of folks that's going to support you, but as far as the masses of the people are concerned, you don't mean nothing to them. This is why many people all over this country, no matter how hard Louis Farrakhan tried to bring down the name of Malcolm X and paint that man as some messed up, mentally ill wacko, people all over this nation love Malcolm X because just by watching the old news clips, listen to him talk how he carried himself, reading his biography, you could tell this was a sincere and real man that cared for us in the best manner that he knew, along with Dr. King and Kwame Ture and so many, Marcus Garvey, and so many of our other brothers and sisters. They was not in it for celebrity or the money. They really had concern and wanted to change our condition. Y'all love fake folks. And so since you love fake folks, then the only thing you're going to get is fake love. You're not going to get the kind of love the little girl gave to a black and ugly man. I'm a coon. Why am I a coon? I'm a coon and a Sambo. Why is that? I have not done nothing. You can't even compare me to somebody like Tommy Sotomayor. There is no comparison. When I was 8 or 9 years old, I grew up in Jim Crow. I grew up in the racist South. I had to pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. But when I was introduced to the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I began to learn how to love my dark skin and my people, I was the only one in the whole school that refused to pledge allegiance to the flag, all by myself. My mother, my uncles, no adults supported me. And whatever I did, I always did it by myself. So you're looking for an organization, and you're looking for somebody to be friends with. You don't have to do that. Be who you are. Stand on your own. I was a little boy, and I found that the teachings of Elijah Muhammad was true, and I shot down every adult that I had to deal with. I'm a coon and a Sambo. I advocate separation. I do advocate nation building. I advocate we have the right to self-defense. I don't advocate interracial relationships. What you talking about? Oh, I know. The reason why I'm a coon and a Sambo is because I reject a lot of this comedic, Hebrew Israelite, Nation of Islam, fantasy fiction stuff that y'all got going on. And when I reject your teachings, I do it in a very civil and respectful manner. And what makes you so angry is that what I bring makes sense, it's logical, it sounds valid. You get angry at me because you should be rejecting fairy tales and fiction just like I do every day. But you want to hold on to fantasy and fiction in hopes that it will change or something. I don't know what you're looking for. We look insane trying to place a round peg in a square hole. We look insane trying to continue to use those things. They might have had a little success in the past. They no longer work. And you still trying to, it don't work. Let it go. Let it go. But we can't. So you will continue to be in the condition that you're in because you can't let it go. Like a no good man that you love. Like a no good woman that you love, but you can't let them go. You holding on to them for dear life. Why? You can do bad by yourself. But you just loyal. I just love that man. He beat you every day. He stealing your money. He made fun of your children. Why are you holding on to this cat? The Black Power Wars. I really don't even want to spend time talking about the Black Power Wars. Black Revolution. It's not entertainment, the Black Power Awards. There's nothing entertaining about it. Award for what? The only award that you should be seeking is finally getting this beast off your back once and for all. That's the award. That's the reward. If that has not been done, then the Black Power Awards is nothing but cosmetic surgery. A fake breast, a fake nose, a fake chin. It's all fake because you have not been freed from the oppressor. Thus, the idea of Black Power does not exist. It's all fake. Either you're going to be real or you're going to be fake. I choose, let us be real. This is the Realist Temple on earth. Black struggle is not about entertainment. Those brothers sniping police officers, there's nothing entertaining about that. The racist cops that's shooting our people down in the street, there's nothing entertaining about that. The Black Power Wars, come on, y'all got to be joking. You don't take nothing serious. And I'm going to tell you why you don't take nothing serious in just a second. Let me move on. Speaking of these comedic, Nuwabian, Hebrew Israelite, all these different teachings that y'all come up with. Where y'all getting this stuff from? You a Hebrew Israelite. What Hebrew Israelite taught you what you teaching? I'm Kemetic. Who from Kemet taught you anything? African spirituality. What Africans are you getting this spirituality from? Where y'all getting this stuff from? It's fabrication, plagiarism, a whole bunch of mixed up stuff that sounds, I guess it sounds cool. You guys are impressed because somebody sounds smart. But when you think about it, really look at it, it's so corny. You might as well read Superman and Batman. Because actually that's all that it is. There's nothing real about it. African spirituality, Africa this, Africa that, but you don't see Africans, nobody from that continent embracing or saying Black Power. You don't see them talking about it. Only the so-called Negro in America. Why is that? And you're so silly and so delusional and out of your mind. You think that you can teach the Africans African spirituality. You are the one in America. Those people never left the continent. They should know more about African spirituality than you ever would. They live it. The only thing you can do is read about it in a book. And none of them is teaching you nothing. Can you understand how we look so foolish and silly in the eyes of the world? Ghetto names. Let's talk about ghetto names. What's wrong with ghetto names? There's nothing wrong with a ghetto name. So-called ghetto name. A ghetto name is our own natural expression, our own creativity. That's all that it is. I'm expressing who I am. I am not your slave. So many of you don't have a problem with coming up out of the slave name. I'm not Johnson. I'm not McGillicuddy. All these brown, white, pig, whatever. So we coming up out of the racist Caucasian pink people slave name. That's cool. But you have a problem with the so-called ghetto name. See, even though we have been domesticated and made slaves, there's still something in us to be who we are. You can love Africa, but there's something special about you. That's where soul comes from. You're a Negro, you color, you black. These are names that came from the races. Then all of a sudden one day, soul appeared. I'm a soul brother. I'm a soul sister. We make soul music. We dance on Soul Train. So there was an effort by the enemy to stop that progress. Soul Train. So there was an effort by the enemy to stop that progress. We make up our own language. Oh, pig Latin. That's the language that I was thinking about earlier. It's called pig Latin. We made up a language of our own so the massa wouldn't know what we was talking about. Ghetto language. It's us. It's all ours. It's our own creativity. What's wrong with being who you are? Your ancestors can come from Kemet and Africa, wherever you believe they come from. Be who you are. Your mother is your mother. Your father is your father. But be who you are. Your mother was a dentist. Your father was a police officer. That does not mean you want to be a dentist or a police officer. Be who you are. We come from out of a people, and we don't even know who they are. So why not be who we are? So what's wrong with Shaquita and all these other so-called, I don't know a lot of them names, so excuse me. Just give the name meaning. I am going to be a granduncle, and my niece told me the name of the child, a ghetto name, and I said, that's fine. What is the name? What is the meaning of the child? What is the meaning of the name? And they decided that the name of the name would mean man of the house. It's a little boy that's going to be born, and his name will mean man of the house and warrior. So what's wrong with that? All these Mohammeds ain't nothing but Arab slaves. You're an Arab slave. Well, what about your name? Go find my name among the Arabs. You won't find it. I use the Arabic language, but it's nothing. It has nothing to do with Islam and Arabs. Period. Arabs always ask me, what is that? Your name? They always ask me about it because it comes from up out of the Arabic language that they do not own. Anybody can use the Arabic language, and I created the word. I'm the one. It comes from my creativity. Just like in my family, I could go to a member of my family and ask them, what is a snub nut? Angel Snub Nut 7. Y'all heard of it. Snub. What's a snub nut? It was a name that we made up for a dog. A dog was a snub nut. Angel was the name of my dog. Snub nut is a dog. Angel the dog. And we do it all the time. You You can create and be who you are. What's wrong with that? Who are you trying to please? Well, you see, if we use these ghetto names, the racists, they'll know and they won't hire us on the job. They're going to find out that you are black regardless. So it don't make no difference if you Shaquita or whatever. They're going to find out your skin color and who you are. It don't make any difference. And they should not be like that anyway. That's why it's important that you separate and get the hell away from them. Let them have it all. Work and do something for yourself and make sure that the ultimate goal is separation. Get the hell away from them demons. We was talking about earlier spirituality, divinity. What's wrong with God? Why is God prejudiced? Why does God have bias? You mean to tell me Allah, God, can only speak to Louis Farrakhan, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, Creflo Dollar, Eddie Long, and all these other suckers that's out here? I do not acknowledge God. And this is one of the reasons why I would not acknowledge a biased God. If we are the children of God, why is he playing favorites? How would you like if your mother and father shown favoritism against you in favor of one of your other siblings? Y'all don't like that. So why do you accept that this God picked so-and-so? If God picked Abraham and Moses and Noah and Lot, why God can't pick me? Why can't God tell me the same thing that God told Farrakhan or Eddie Long or any of these other people that's out here? We all come from the same place. We all connected and have the same umbilical cord to the Creator. So why can't this God communicate through me? You belittle yourself and you degrade yourself and down yourself looking to these other people. You should be angry at a God that won't talk to you personally. If God can direct and guide Farrakhan, why can't God direct and talk to you personally? So there you are. Every time somebody make a YouTube video or DVD, there you are. Because God not talking to you at all. So you are amazed at what Farrakhan or Polite or whoever. Wow, they are just so great. No, they're not. They're not as great, and I am not as great as you think. You have become disconnected from the creation itself. There is nothing special about anything that I say. If you allow yourself to think with logic and common sense, embrace reality, you'll come to the same conclusions. In fact, you might see more than I do, just like that. And I have no problem with that. We have become adults. And our sister, the late Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, spoke about this. We who are the descendants of slaves born in America, we are adults with infantile minds. And this childish behavior, that's a whole lot part of our problem. We are childish. I was speaking to a brother of whom I very much respect, and I told him, adults don't have fun. If you look and study and observe nature, it's very rare that you will see adult animals having fun and playing games. When you become an adult, partying, having fun, that's over with. Life is serious business. It's not about having fun. But you have no problem. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to enjoy my life. Enjoying your life for an adult is to secure the next generation. You see that in animals, you see that in insects, you see that in all kinds of life on this planet. Then they die. It's not about fun. The reason why y'all always want to, along with the girls, because you know, girls just want to have fun. Along with the girls, y'all know why y'all want to have fun? Because you're a slave. Yes, that's right. See, the bottom line is you are a slave. It is unnatural. Your behavior and your mindset is unnatural for an adult. But you're nothing but a big child in a physically adult body. When you have a childlike mentality in a physically adult body, they call that mental retardation. And you have to be mentally retarded in order to be a slave. That is why the slave master denied you the right to read and write and to feed your mind, to keep you, our ancestors, mentally retarded. And if they do feed you education, then they will control it to keep you at a certain level so that you will not grow and become an adult, and you will stay a slave pretending to be an adult. And in reality, you're not. Because if we were adults, if you were real adults, the Caucasian pink people would no longer be a problem. But you're still a child waiting on somebody to come save you. God, will you come and stop? Begging a parent. Mama, daddy, I'm going to tell. Look how we talk. We are adults. Look how we talk. Elijah Muhammad better than Marcus Garvey. Malcolm X better than Elijah Muhammad. You remember as a child, a real child, when we used to talk about my daddy better than your daddy, my mama better than your mama, and we have this corny little, childish conversation. We were children. But then when we get adult, Jesus is better than Muhammad. Muhammad is better than Jesus. Childish conversation. That means nothing. Means nothing. And look at us, how we act when it comes to sex. Just the fact that I mentioned the word sex, many of you, your eyes get to open and you start breathing. What you gonna talk about sex? Here you are, an adult man. How many vaginas have you seen, and breasts and legs and butt? Here you are, an adult woman. You seen a man without a shirt on, and you seen what a man looks like in his drawers, and y'all go crazy over this stuff. And you paste these pictures all over the internet like you've never seen a vagina or a penis before. Here we are, or we have so-called primitive tribes, so-called savage tribes. The women walk around naked all day long. Men walk around naked all day long. You do not see the men looking at the women talking, damn, baby, look at them, look at that booty, booty. Shake that booty, right around the booty. They don't make up songs about shaking your booty and grab my penis. But that's how it was when you and our children, when we were discovering ourselves, and you see a penis for the first time, or a vagina for the first time. You'll see somebody's booty hanging out from their shorts. Ooh, look at her booty. Look at her booty. Hey, look at her booty. His deal ain't showing. He nasty. His deal ain't showing. See, we still do the same thing and we call ourselves adult. And you don't find nothing wrong with that. Well, I don't care what you say. Umar Johnson is better than Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton been around a long time, and he way better than Umar Johnson. Same stuff. Because you have a childish mentality. And the reason why you have a childish mentality is because you're still a slave. You don't take life serious because the slave master, you know that the slave master gonna make sure and have made sure that you eat, you have water and clothes and all these different things. Yeah, I work for mine. Whatever you got directly or indirectly came because you're still dependent on the slave master. And the slave master is taking care of you. You can't take life serious, so you can party and have fun because you know Massa got your back. See, that's the bottom line. The reason why many of you will not take the appropriate action doing what an adult person is supposed to do is because you don't want to lose what Massa gave you or what Massa allowed you to attain in this racist society. That's why you're childish. Just like children that work a job. They'll take their money from their job and go spend it on all kinds of silly crap. You know why? Because mama take care of me from his job, from her job. Daddy take care of me from his job. My parents still take care of me. Who are your parents? Your parents is the racist Caucasian people of the United Snakes of America. That's who your parent is. That's why the so-called Negro in America, that's why it's very difficult for them to rebel against Caucasian people, because the reality is they are our parents. They are the only parents we ever known. They ain't the greatest in the world, but they mama and daddy. Negro, you talking crazy stuff. Negro, that's the reality of it. Prove me wrong. Show me any different. The only reason why you act and behave the way that you do is because Caucasian people taking care of you. If they disappeared, your whole behavior will change overnight. I guarantee you. You will be forced to act like an adult or die. That's the bottom line. That's why you can't love me. Because you don't need me. But you have a certain amount of respect for Caucasian people because you need them still. No matter all that stuff that y'all talk, and no matter how many of us they kill, no matter how many of us they discriminate against and keep doing the wicked things they do, going on 500 years, it really don't get you upset and angry because they taking care of us. Oh well, they killed Charlie last night. Oh well, wouldn't me? They killed Sandra Blair the other day. Wouldn't me? Wasn't my daughter. Wasn't my dog. That's how we think. So until we come from up out of this type of childish mentality, slave mentality, and you can holler black power all that you want to. You are black power, Nubian, Hebrew Israelite, Kemetic, African spiritualized slave. That's the bottom line. And many people don't like coming to the Realist Temple on earth because I just have to keep it real. I'm not going to tell you that you God and a warrior, goddess, and all this other stuff. There is no proof. There's no evidence that supports that label. You have not qualified to be none of that. You have yet to break the bonds of slavery. So how can you be a God? How can anybody make a slave out of God? Answer that question for me. If I'm a warrior, there are spies and agents. They will swallow a poison in a tooth and die before they allow themselves to be captured by the enemy. And here you are captured going on 500 years. But you are God and a goddess and warriors and all this other stuff, feel good stuff that these people tell you. I'm not going to do that. I do you a disservice by telling you and keep telling you to believe in these lies and falsehood. I'm not going to do it. So if you want somebody to make you feel good, go to the whole house or to one of these houses of religion somewhere. Not going to do it. Go to the next house of consciousness debate or something. I'm not going to do that. I can't do it. It's not in my heart. It's not right. With that said, thank you for listening. Covered a whole lot of topics in an hour. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. And with that said, I do love us. Even though some of us may be black and ugly, I love us. Let us strive to love one another and unify as soul brothers and sisters.